Hello and welcome to the Innovators Corner. I and Shalini are here again because it's Tuesday evening, one of our favorite days of the week. And yeah, today we are here to discuss patent infringement searches. And Shalini, how are you doing? And as usual, let's begin with your opening remarks.
Sure. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm doing great. I've had a busy weekend, busy week, but it's all good. No complaints. I hope you're having a good Tuesday, Priggya.
Yes.
So, patent infringement search. What is patent infringement? What comes to mind when I say patent infringement? It is someone making an unauthorized use of my patent, of my patented invention, whether it's a product or a process. And this can include making, using, selling, offering for sale of my patented invention without my permission. So that's infringement. Uh, let's not confuse patent infringement search with a prior art search or with an FTO. Those are topics for another day. Today we'll only be talking about what happens when there is an infringing product based
Correct.
on my patented invention. So
Correct.
let's start.
Yeah. So, Shalini, according to me, as we all know that patents are jurisdictional in nature. So, if I have a patent in India, my patent is valid in India. If I have a patent in United States, the patent is valid there. And by validity, I mean I hold some rights in that country. So, if I have a patent in India, I have a right to stop others from making, using, selling, offering for sale, or importing the patented invention. So, whenever there is an infringement, that means I have a patent, but someone else is either making, using, selling, offering for sale, or importing the my invention. So, what I need to do in that case, I need to search for products which are similar to my patents, and if at least an independent features of my independent claim are there in that product, all the features of my independent claims are there in that product, then I say it is an infringing product, right? So this is the way how we conduct an infringement search and do a product to claim mapping to know whether that product is actually infringing or not.
Perfect. That's how I do it too. Um, so I think we've done this for FTO also. I have an Excel sheet. I break down my claim into clauses, sub clauses, and relate each and every one of those sub clauses to the features in the product that I think is infringing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think once we discussed the FTO search and we discussed in detail how do we do that, and just to differentiate between FTO and infringement is FTO means I do not have a patent but I want to launch a product and see whether I am infringing somebody else's patent or not, or whether I am free to operate that product in market. But infringement is kind of opposite of that, that I hold a patent and I want to check who all is infringing my product, my
Right.
patent, and I want to
Yeah.
stop others from doing that. And probably the next step could be the sending the cease and desist notice and getting monetary benefits if
Yes.
anybody is
And then,
infringing the product.
so we can have a, a direct infringement or an indirect infringement, right? Direct infringement if I have element for element equivalent in the product, in the
Correct.
infringing product. And indirect infringement is if they have made changes in the elements. For example, if it's a fastening mechanism, they have instead of epoxy, they've used a substitute for epoxy and so on.
Correct. So it's like I think we discussed before as well that it is like direct infringement. That means we are just mapping our claims, features of our claims to the product. And second is indirect, where we say it is doctrine of equivalence. A particular product is working in the same way, in the similar manner to produce the same result. So if that is the case, it's also called doctrine of equivalence. But again, for that as well, we need to check how similar is the product to our invention. And
Right.
probably if instead of elastic we have used some rubber, so these are almost similar components, so we need to check what kind of similarity is there.
That's pretty. I'm just going to log off and log back in. There is delay at my end.
Sure. So yes, everyone, while you are joining, I'll probably okay, Shalini is back.
Yeah, so I'm back.
So Shalini, great. So, Shalini, I think I was about to tell the viewers about differentiation between a patentability search and an infringement search,
Very important.
where the patentability search is a worldwide search, because we need to check whether my product, whether I can get a patent on it or not, and whether you know uh, meeting the novelty requirement. That means whether my invention is new or not. So I need to do a worldwide search for that. But conversely, for patent infringement, we need to do a jurisdictional based search, where we need to check whether our patent, any invention similar to our patent, is there in that particular jurisdiction, so that we can stop them from practicing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's a much narrower search that you're doing for patent infringement.
Yeah.
Any other points we are missing
Any
out?
other? I think we covered
Damages.
it.
What do we get if we can prove that there is patent infringement? We can get damages
So
or injunction.
injunction seizure of products, like
So
they'll just
criminal,
seize the
yeah, and
products and
criminal penalties.
destroy it. Yeah. So these are the things. So injunctions also, there are, as everybody is aware of it, we have a permanent as well as temporary injunctions, which means even when the case is pending in the court, you can claim for an
Correct.
injunction. So
So I think before we end, we should also talk about how can we reduce the risk of patent infringement.
reduce the risk, publicize our patent as much as possible, so that people don't want to operate the product in
Of
market,
course.
and send them cease and desist notices, whoever
And
you feel is
talk about licensing. Talk about
correct.
licensing.
Absolutely.
And of course, if you are the infringing product, then avoid infringing others' patents.
Yeah, I think speaking about licensing is very, very important, because it gives an open platform where people would, instead of doing an infringement, would like to come up to you and ask for a collaboration. So I think that is a very, very smart way of enhancing the commercial
Yes,
benefits.
absolutely. A non-exclusive license is the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we missing any other points?
So I think we covered
Yeah.
most of the
So
points.
I know it sounds
Yeah.
like an oversimplified version of patent infringement search. It's not like that. It takes months uh, to initiate, conduct, and conclude the search, and
Yeah.
to actually conclude all the proceedings involved in the patent infringement search, which we are talking about in 10 minutes or so. Uh, However, the nitty gritty of it is the interesting part for me. The interesting part is actually doing the claim to product mapping, and
Correct.
then the rest of it I prefer leaving it to other people.
So, Shalini, another thing that came to my mind, one of my clients asked me while we were discussing some infringement matter that do we have to go in that factory and see their all their machines and then figure out whether our products are similar or not, or if we have a product. So, I don't know why he had this notion that we need to hire an expert, send him in the factory, and then ask him to see how the machines operate. But the infringement actually in consideration was of the product which he could have just taken from the market and see whether the products are infringing. So sometimes the process is not as complicated as we think.
Yeah,
But yeah, forming a right strategy, I would say, is very very important, because yeah, if we do not have a right strategy, we go haywire in every direction and probably then figure out
that's
nothing.
that's true. That's true. Strategy is important. I'm all about strategy.
Yes, yes, yes,
So,
absolutely.
concluding remarks, Priggya?
So, concluding remarks, as Shalini said, if you are infringing, don't infringe. And if you are a patent holder, try to license your product, or put it out in market. Let people know that you hold a patent on this, so that people can come to you and for the licensing deals. So, I think that is a key takeaway for me as well, and I think it is for everybody.
All right. Until next Tuesday.
All right. Yes. Bye bye. Take care, everyone.